Welcome aboard our trimaran Polly. This is our home that we have been living for last 10 years.
Owning and living aboard a boat is far more complicated from a maintenance point of view than owning a house, which means we have to do pretty deep, pretty serious refits every few years. And we just did one about 2.5 years ago. And we did a boat tour after that, so we showed you what we did. But now, 2.5 years ago, 2.5 years later, we can actually honestly show you what has worked for us and what hasn't.
Okay guys, what we did in Gdańsk, in Poland, all the projects were so huge and deep as the ocean. We're trying to categorize it, but it's really difficult. But we try to do it. So we're gonna start with the best things we did in Gdańsk, and we're gonna get to the worst part. So stay with us till the end.
It gets the worst at the end. All right, guys. Probably number one together with the floor, but we'll talk about the floor in a second. But definitely top of the list is the extension of our roof over the cockpit. So basically replacing the bimini with a longer roof that spans out behind the cockpit. First of all, no rain on us, no sun when we sail, because the problem was that the existing former setup for the mainsail required the entire bimini to be taken down in order to sail to use the mainsail. So, which means we only had roof up to here, and that's it. Everything here was in the sun or in the rain. It wasn't exactly comfortable, right? And even on the anchor, the bimini was only so good. So. This is definitely day-to-day number one improvement in how we live, because there is no more problems with this, right? Of course, it required a giant rethinking, quite a bit of design work, drawing all this out and calculating the loads and everything, because we had to all of a sudden create this 4 pillars that would carry almost 10 tons of possible force upward. So I want to invite you upstairs to show you exactly how it's done now with the mainsail. So as you see, we replaced the former V-style German mainsail sheeting with a classic mainsail track. It's a giant track. It's almost 20 feet long, or 7 meters long, and but it's so convenient right now. All we have to do is push the button, and there we go. That's trimming the sail. I love it. It's so nice. So needless to say, it used to take us 30 to 40 minutes to set up the mainsail. Right now it takes us literally just raising it, and that's it, off we go. So it's super easy, super nice, it's just pressing a few buttons and it's done. So it's absolute, giant step forward in terms of comfort and safety for that matter. The only downside of that solution came not in the design stage, but in the manufacturing stage. We have very particularly instructed the person that was making this laminate form, right, that it would have the laminate mat going from here to here in like a round fashion, right? So. And then we caught him doing exact 90 degrees. It was supposed to be, he thought it was going to be nicer, but the problem is he completely destroyed the entire how should I say, load-bearing capacity of that joint. He then supposedly fixed it, but the problem was that as soon as we put lots of load on this, the entire thing started ungluing. And we still have a crack over here. I kind of patched it up, but it's going to get done nice next time we're doing a refit, which is in half a year. So that's the only problem. I don't think it's a design problem. And right now, everything is mechanically sound, because the minute we started seeing these cracks, we drove a 12 mil thread all across from here all the way to the pillar. So there is no more load on this part. The load is being carried by the 12 mil. So it's kind of you know, totally safe solution for the moment, but it would be nice to fix it up the way it's supposed to. So that's really the only problem we had with this roof. Other than that, it's been absolute blessing. Okay, anchoring system. That is okay. Definitely one of the top 3 advancements of this on this boat. Improvements in our everyday life. I don't know if you remember. We're going to show you, but we used to have an anchoring system that was going from there, literally pushing the chain. I know it's against physics, trying to get this thing down. It was a nightmare. It was one of the leftovers that we just didn't have enough time and probably money to completely rebuild this entire system to do it right in 2015. So we dealt with it for 7 years, and now it's right. Now it's in such a way that we literally press the button in the back and the anchor is down. Done. And the same way we lift it up. And thanks to the whole video system, which I will talk about later on, I can actually watch the anchor going up and down from the raimery, from the back, from the stern. So basically, it's a single-handed job right now, setting the anchor and going off anchor. It's amazing. We love it. Solar panels, the basis of our electricity on this boat. As I mentioned in the systems episode, it's just 99% of our electricity production. We did change to new solars, and the new ones are at least just as good as the old ones, or better. Actually, saying that, they are actually better because they take up much less area for the same kilowatt hour production. So right now we have 4.2, I mentioned that already, and that covers plenty of all the needs that we have, including baking and cooking that we added to the long list of things that normally happen on this boat. One of the things that we did, we replaced a lot of the skylights and windows and all that, and some of them were done some of them were done apparently improperly, because on some of them the silicone wasn't binding well, and on the other ones curing well, and on the other ones there was just not enough of it. And I'll show you the case with the one in the bathroom that I had to replace. Not replace, but take completely out, clean everything out, and put more silicone in there and set it back in. And then basically I found spaces where there was no silicone, so it couldn't have worked. With this one, I don't know. I'm going to take it apart today and we'll see. The new Lumar winches, we put big ones in here. I don't know if you remember, but we used to have only this electric one and 2 other ones the same size, which is 48. And we added 2 55s. Life is good, what can I tell you? Right now with this, we can easily run the Genoa sheet under full load, no problem. So there's no more cranking winches by hand, none of that. Everything is working fine. And plus, raising the mainsail right now is a piece of cake, because this one runs a lot faster than this one, and it's not as loaded as this one used to be. Having said that, the only problem that we've ran into here is the placement of the jammers. The jammers were just basically, they're not at the completely proper angle. The effect of that is that some of them went bad after a while, and we're gonna have to fix that, replace some of them, and just change the angle, probably raise them, because the problem is that these winches are much higher than the 48s, and the lines kind of tend to go up a bit, and that created few screw ups over here. So that's the running rigging. The boom. This is probably one, best thing that the rigger did, because otherwise we had a whole bunch of problems with this guy, and including the fact that we had to last minute pull all our strings that we know at Z-Spar and get some parts in order to actually leave Poland. Otherwise we would have stayed there for the winter because he messed up the orders. In any case, the good thing he did was that we asked him to do this, to do these supports, to basically have the lazy jacks far and wide. So right now it's easy. It's much easier to raise the mainsail. It doesn't catch the lazy jack so easily, and also when it falls, it nicely sets on a much wider base than it used to. Also, making the lazy bag is easier because it doesn't have to withstand the almost entire weight of the mainsail. So all in all, I think that's the greatest change in the rigging. I mean, in the standing rigging department slash. The anti-skid paint. We obviously, this is not a cheap thing to repaint this entire boat, this entire deck. This deck is like 1,000 square feet. So it was kind of frustrating to us that after 2 or 3 months, we already saw things like that coming out, and it only got worse from that point on. So yeah, that's definitely a failure. All right, new Lumar hatches. We changed all of them to these giant square ones, you know, 60 by 60 centimeters. So basically 2 feet by 2 feet. Absolutely the best thing we've done. First of all, we had a really funny things going on because, for example, we couldn't bring big suitcases because there was nowhere to put them. We couldn't put them inside because they would be in the way, right? And yet we had loads of storage in the amas here and in the front, and we couldn't put them here just because our hatches were circular, and they were only like less than 2 feet in diameter. So effectively, it was just not enough to be able to put bigger things. And now we have electric bikes in there, we have suitcases, you name it. Even though the hatch replacement was definitely a hit, there was a little hiccup on the way. The 2 engineers that were trying to figure out how to place them talked to Ania. Ania told them to make it absolutely straight with the lengthwise with the entire boat, but they decided that no, it's going to be better to make it parallel to this line that is not lengthwise with the boat. So now we have hatches that are like kinked. Okay, Davits. Very light, very easy to operate, right? We fought it up with Adam together. I admit it was my idea too. And yeah, it should have been great, right? No. What's the problem? The problem is once you ride the boat, ride the dinghy down below the davits, and there's waves like this, it starts hitting the davits. And that is the biggest problem. It's a nightmare to try to catch the shackle into the proper place while the boat is going up and down. It is so much safer to just have the long line and just try to catch it easily and then just lift it up. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to let that one go and replace it with what we had, or something new, but nevertheless with just a arm over here and then a line going down. The floor, it's the best, absolutely the best. I am absolute convert. I already said that in the last boat tour, but I will say it again. I was very, very, very hesitant because I was worried about 2 things: weight and the fact that it will get hot. They told me it's some kind of astronomical, cosmic technology that will not let it get hot. I did not totally believe it, but I finally bent. And I said, okay, let's do it. And they did it, and guess what? It doesn't get hot. Not only it doesn't get hot, but it's not. It's literally non-skid. Even when you spray some, some what you call it, like sun tanning oil or something like that, which used to be an absolute disaster because when we had the normal non-skid, deck non-skid over here, if you got it wet and then God forbid you got some sun tanning lotion on it, it would be like a ice rink. Right now, we don't care. The only thing that catches it is hair, but come on, you can't have everything. But we do love it, and it looks so much more, how should I say, upper class. Okay, the new bows. Well, I can't say anything about an improved performance, but what I can say is, in our view, the boat looks 10 years younger, so it's a win. The paint, we painted the entire hull white before we placed the plastic foil, and so far so good. It's looking nice. It's glossy. You know, I can't say anything wrong. But let's see a few years down the road what happens. So that's up. And the same company did the joints between the wings and the amas and the wings and the main hull, and we told them to do the same. It was the same problem as with the joint. It was actually the same person that did the joint between the mainsail track pedestal and the new roof, and he did this exact same thing. He cut it 90 degrees while we told them to do the fiberglass all around the corner, so that it would become a bit flexible and a bit able to take on some stress, some twisting stress. And of course, when he did that, we told him that it's wrong. So we suspect that it was basically done with a filler after we said that it's done completely wrong, because it cracked after just a few weeks. And so now it's cracked along the entire lines, and the entire job was for nothing. So we're gonna have to redo it. So that job is down. I'm going to talk about two things at the same time. One is right behind me. The mandala is by the same people who did all the beautiful foil on the sides of the boat, which made it absolutely looking amazing. Well, I shouldn't say that. You be the judge of that, right? But we like it. The point is, it's not like boring white all over, but something's happening, right? But they also helped us do this, and we are really very much in love with it. And they were such nice people too, and they just came from like across the whole country in Poland to do it. So yes, definitely a winner. And the second thing is what I'm sitting on. We finally got cushions, cockpit cushions, that are this decent. And I'm saying decent because they were really nice to begin with, but the problem is and they were very nicely done and very accurately, but the problem is that the material itself is not very durable. So that is the only downside of these cushions, that if you look at over here, it's already basically like washing out. So, and this is the area where it gets used the most. Like if you look at the areas that it doesn't get used the most, it's fine. It's okay. But this is a very high traffic area, and 2.5 years down the road, it's not looking that great anymore, right? But it's still keeping the shape, give or take, in most places. So it is what it is at this moment. I guess it's kind of like, it's not the best, it's not the worst, but it's kind of somewhere in between, depending on how you look at it. So one of the big problems is the engine.
It's not true. Don't believe it.
One of the my top favorites of the last refit is the video system.
When it falls on you, your blood runs cold. But don't you sweat your pretty skin, 'cause it melts away for it sinks in. And you dream about this very night.